Hello, beautiful and powerful women. Welcome to Susan Unleashed. This podcast is for any woman who wants to live a gorgeous life on her terms and who knows that not only is being a woman enough, it is the key to everything. I'm your host, Susan Elizabeth, certified professional coach, #1 best-selling author, and Energy Leadership Index master practitioner. I fiercely support women who are passionate about elevating their lives while embracing their truest selves. Are you ready to unleash your power? Hello, everyone. Beautiful and powerful women. Welcome to this week's episode. I'm really excited to talk about something that I had heard about and I wanted to share with you. So we've been talking a little bit about feminine consciousness, feminine power, really owning your power and your success without sacrificing your feminine, or really balancing your power with your femininity. So I had learned this recently. It is power over versus power from within. Power from within is true power, authentic power. And the feminine consciousness is really about the embracing. It's the focusing on the connection and the collaboration. And it's something that is a power from within and not a power over somebody else or something else. A power over something else is really a domination. It's trying to dominate. It's trying to overtake. It's trying to overcome. And in a very, it could be a forceful way. It could be a movement forward. But when I learned about this concept, and I just loved how it was phrased, power over versus power within, true power is power from within. It is a, you can't take that away from you. You don't have to intimidate. You can come from a place of love, from empowerment, from a place that is motivating and can motivate others. When you have power from within, you can use it for you, but you can also use it for others and others' good. Because when you're tapped into this source energy, from this internal energy, it's that type of energy that can radiate from you. And it can radiate out in a very strong way, a subtle way, doesn't matter. And so I think a lot of women have really become more like men in this power over and power, in business, in ways that can be very dominating. But there is a power in the stillness. And in that stillness, there's the availability of yourself. It's the, I'm available to myself. I have power from within. Nobody can take this kind of power away from you. It is an authentic, innate place. And it's this wellspring. And it's available to you at all times. And it can be available to the world. It's really this beautiful expression of yourself, and something that is a force that really defines what your true authentic power is. So I think when you look at this power over from power within, power over can be fear-based. Power from within can also be thought of as maybe more love-based, because it's something that when you need to use it in a very strong way, it's coming from a place, like if you think it comes from kind of your gut space, your intuitive space. It's this awareness space. When you're trying to have power over, think of the wars, think of going to take over something, to go conquer, to have domination. And when you get into a state of becoming aware of how you're using your power, are you having power over or power from within? When you have power from within, you're more aware and you can listen and you can open up to the spaces within you and know how to move forward from a more, I'll call it more empowering space too. And a little bit about masculine and feminine energy. And this doesn't really have to do with that, because I think it's really just taking the masculine and feminine out of the equation for this for a moment, but just touching on masculine and feminine, I think the masculine is more focused on, differences and linear. It's doing, it's achieving, it's accomplishing. And the feminine is more about connection, organicness. It's really embracing. It's finding things in common. It's that connection. It's the feminine. It also is the ability to receive. And it's the feminine. There's this inner power to the feminine. And sometimes the masculine can be perceived as outer power as well. But the feminine and masculine, they're in all of us. And there's nothing right or wrong about those. It's becoming aware and how do you use these and live in choice with these. So when I show up and I need to get a lot of stuff done, I have no problem stepping into my power and moving forward, stepping into my more masculine aspects of myself. Because again, we are all masculine and feminine. I just really want to reiterate that. This doesn't have to do with she or he. It's the aspects, it's the energy of the masculine, it's the energy of the feminine. Because the feminine is in everybody and it's in all aspects of life. It's the ability to receive love, to give love. The masculine is as well, but not in the same way as the feminine. And every man and woman who they have access to the feminine, like men have masculine and feminine energies as well. Men live more in their masculine energies. Women, a lot of women in society are really living in a lot of their masculine energies. But I also know a lot of women who are living in their feminine energies and wish to step more into their masculine. I think men live more in their masculine than feminine energies, as generally speaking. But I think it's understanding our creative power, and it's understanding that when you have this creative power and your creativity and your intuition, it's an understanding that with creativity, you come up with ideas for betterment, ideas for solutions, problem solving. And it's this creativity is this beautiful place to go into, and it's this power from within. And when you think of power over versus power from within, and when you think of overpowering and you think of something, eventually it creates the demise. It's not sustainable long term. And domination cannot sustain itself. Collaboration is more of a natural state of a sustained. Now, sometimes you do need to go be very dominant in a conversation, for example. You need to really make your point known. Maybe there's something where, your 2-year-old is going to go out and maybe starting to walk, moving around. You want to make sure there's a safe space. You might have to have power over in order to protect that person, to protect your child. So it's really knowing that living in choice, and that's part of a power from within, but it's also powering, to prevent somebody from hurting themselves because they just don't know any better. So that's just a specific example. But really the collaboration is it's more of a feminine aspect and energy. And when you spend time in collaboration and connecting with others, it's a very, very beautiful, sustainable way to bring about transformation, to bring about change for what really matters in life. And I think of the times when I would try to have power over because I was really trying to prove myself and prove my worth. It was exhausting. It was tiring. It made me sick after time because I wasn't believing that power from within part of me was good enough. And underneath all of that, I thought, I really had it all together and I was operating at a very high level. But deep down inside, I had this thing buried in me that I didn't even know was there, that I didn't know I was feeling like I wasn't good enough in certain areas of my life. So when I really got down there and started doing the work around not running away from my feelings, not judging my feelings, understanding that my thoughts create my feelings, which create actions, understanding my own wisdom, my own intelligence, my own worth, and bringing that into the world and stepping into and redefining being powerful from the feminine, it is so much more powerful for me. That was my journey because I get to live authentically as me. And therefore, when I get to live authentically as me, I'm living in alignment with who I am. I'm living in harmony. It's not as exhausting. I don't have to control things. I don't have to worry about what other people are thinking, because what other people think is honestly none of my business. It's all about them, whatever they think of me. I don't care. And being able to open and receive and share myself with the world, to be vulnerable. Now, again, vulnerability was excruciating for me because I put on a suit of armor. I had to mask up to hide myself. But when I finally learned to step back and do the work to start trusting myself and trusting others with discernment, knowing when to open up, when to share, when to be vulnerable. And then even then, detach it, like, who cares what they think? That's about them, not me. And when I really realized that when I was prepared to live in vulnerability, that allowed the creative to flow through me, the intuitive to really flow through me. It allowed me to see and to really feel into my intuition and allow that to guide me to make decisions, to live my life, to be myself. And I have had more peace and joy and love and success enter my life when I learned how to do that. It's really that heart that speaks, and I use the mind and the head to really serve that. And if the heart says trust, I trust. If the heart says, walk into this, with a little bit of caution and courage, it really comes from the heart. Courage does not come from the head. Courage comes from the heart. And when I really learned how to live heart-based, life changed. I went on to become, I took a program through Heart Math and was able to get certified through there and really learned how to live from a heart-based way. And it's really helped me shift things so quickly. And at some point, I want to share with all of you some of the tools and techniques on that as well. So in the meantime, I just wanted to talk a little bit about power over versus power from within as we're talking about feminine power. If we're talking about not sacrificing your feminine, but then also showing up in the world authentically, being successful and being powerful. So I hope you enjoyed this week's episode, and go out and have a great week, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode, I would love it if you would leave me a review or share it with someone else who may enjoy it too. To stay connected with me, please head on over to SusanElizabethCoaching.com and make sure that you sign up for my tips on how to live an unleashed life full of passion and purpose. Until next time, go live an unleashed life.